this tutorial we are going to learn about a linked list. So we are covering 3 to 4 things in this lecture. First thing is why linked list, and another thing is second one is why it is over the array. Okay, so second thing is this, and third thing how we are going to make linked list, and fourth thing is how we are iterating and putting values. Okay, fifth and the last thing, how we reverse a linked list. Okay, so these things we are covering in this lecture. So let's get started with the first one. What is linked list? So linked list is something like it have the two parameters. One is like this, there is a data, and another one is a key. Key is something which bind with the another linked list. So let's say we have this linked list in the heap memory. In the heap memory, we have this linked list at 2k position and another node. This is called a node. So first we should know like what is node. Node is a data with another key. And what is key? Key is storage position of another node. Okay. So key is the position of another node, like it is a 2k position, this node, and let's say another node is at data is 0 and key is 0. So it is at 3k position. So in the previous one, what it stores the position of second node, and both contain the data. Okay, data types are similar. We will discuss it in the later on this lecture. Okay, for right now it is like it is at the 2k position and it is at the 3k position on the memory. So like it is there, we have the head, okay, of the linked list. So in this way we join them. Okay, so how we are joining them, let's see. Okay, yeah, so let's say we have this one node with some data. Okay, it has some data and it has some key. What is the key? It can be a null or it store another key address, another node address we can say. Okay, so here it is called a one node. So let's see, here it is at data and another node is at, let's say, 3k position, it is at 2k position. We have reference towards this node, like it is, let's say, head node, we have reference of 2k position. Okay, we have now head as a 2k position, so our pointer is at this, okay. So here what is the key? Data is something data which you want to keep. Key is the storage of another value. Okay, so it is a 3k position. Here is the position k. Why? See, we want to connect them, like it is just like beats, and you want to make you want to compile that all stones over the one place. Okay, so it is just like a beats and you have to join beats, you have to join, and that bits contain the data. Okay, so for joining them we use a thread which is called a key, which stores the position of next linked list. Okay, next linked list is same type, data and key. Either it stores the null value, which means there is nothing at the end or after that, otherwise it will store the position, like let's say it store 4k position. Okay, so it means there is at the 4k position there is one node also which contain data and the key. Okay, so it connects with this. Let's say it is at the null, so it does not connect with anyone else. So if we say this is the overview of a linked list, what is linked list? Okay, it is just a set of data, a node with a big node with data and a key. Okay, this is called a node, and get linked towards different parts, so that is called a linked list. Okay, so let's say why we have the other data types, right? So why we are using linked list over array? Like we all have the arrays, right? Array and array list in the Java, we all have that. Why we are using linked list right now? So this is the major question. So let's say in the heap memory, when you assign a array, okay, so you define a length. Or what is the array? It is like in the heap memory, it stores a continuous space. Okay, like if we make like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so this take a continuous space. Okay, but what is a linked list? Whenever you need, like it is just like a dynamic in nature. When you will need a node, so you can add a node at the end, right? At the starting or the end or whatever there is a need. So linked list, why we use linked list? Because you add at that position, right? Or at the end. So there is no extra data we need. How much, like there is three, we need three datas. So we make a three linked list and join them. After that, there is a demand for fourth one. We can make one more. We can make one more. So it is easy to maintain a linked list. It is also a way we can manage our space also, because in that space we need a lots of memory at a single time, right? But here we can make a node anywhere in the heap memory. Like let's say it is at the 2k position, it is maybe at 8k, it is at 16k, it is at 4k. Okay, so it can be created anywhere in that heap memory, right? But here they are made at 2.1k, 2.2k based on their bits. They are allotted line by line, right? So that's why we are using linked list right now. It is a major topic. Like if you managing a lot of data set, so linked list is very important there. Okay, so let's move to the another part. That is the third one. Let's say what is the third one? Let me remind. How to make a linked list. Okay, this is the very important thing. We learn about that. How to make a linked list. Okay, so here I'm going to tell you how we can make a linked list. So see, what is the linked list? First, we have already discussed linked list is a set of nodes. So first we have to know how we can create a node, right? Right. So here we are going to learn first how we can make a node. So what is a node? We already tell, right? It is a set of two things. One, data, whatever the data it is, and another thing is a key, right? So what is the type of the key? Let's say what is a key? It is a position of another node, right? And what is the data? Data, whatever we want to store in a linked list, that is a data. Okay. So this is a node, right? So we have to construct a node first. So what is a node? We make a class name as node. Okay. So we make a class of node where we define these two things. Okay. So let's make a class we will name as node, and we have to define the two things. What is that is data. What is the type of data? It is depend, like it is a string, so we write here string. It is a int, so we type int data. Okay, otherwise if it is if you want to make a node of string type, so you can make string data. Okay, you can also store a multiple data over here, like you can name it as data1, data2. Okay, so we are just creating a class over here. And what is in the key? Key is the next pointer, right? In the Java there is no pointer, but it is reference towards the next node, right? So what data type of that key is? It is node itself, right? So node key, both it is the same. Okay, then we have to make a constructor, right? For the constructor, what we can do? Node, and we want int data. What is the data? And we also want a key, right? Node key. Okay, you can assign a key over here, or otherwise you can just put a data over here. It will already fine. Okay, like if you want to make a node with only a data, not providing a next pointer, so it is fine, you can make a data, right? Because in the linked list we connect them afterwards, right? So here what we can put, this dot data equals to data. So let's discuss why I have put in here this. In the previous lecture, we have read about the classes. So in that we already discussed about this function. What this does, like this refers to the parameters which is inside the node, right? Which are initialized inside the node. And here this data, this one is initialized towards this, right? Which is in that function. So in this way we can dereference over there. Okay. So here, if you want to make a node, so it is very simple. We have to string data, and just we can put this dot data equals to data. So this is the constructor we have made, right? So in this way we have make a node which contain a data and a key. Okay, so in this way we have prepared a node. So let me code it out for a node. Okay, just we have to code out for a node class node. I'm making here of the int data. Okay, and node key, and afterward what I'm going to write here, a constructor for a node int data, and afterward just I'm writing this dot data equals to data. Okay, so here I'm created a node. Let me just zoom out for you. Okay, so here I'm making a class which is a node. Everything is static, just make it a static. Okay, so this is a class node, and now we have to create a linked list. Okay, with this node. So what is a linked list? We can say linked list is a set of nodes, right? We have to connect it in a parallel fashion. So linked list is a set of nodes, right? We have already discussed. Okay, so let's say how we can make a linked list. Okay, so let's say I'm taking an example over here for making a linked list. We have a length of a linked list. Okay, let's say we have a uh, length we can say we have 5. Length of a linked list is 5. Okay, so we have to create a linked list of length 5. So in the input there is a 5, and afterwards there is a 5 parameter like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, you have to make a linked list with this. Okay, let's take it 6. There I have taken the 6. Okay, so you have make a length of a 6, and you have to make the input of this and make a linked list. Okay, so how linked list look like? It will look like 5 over here, which is a data, and key is connected towards the another one whose data is 6, then connected to another one whose data is 7, connected to other one whose data is 8, 9, and 10. We have to create like this. Okay, right now the length we can take initial one, because we are right now learning, right? So let's make, so what we can do, see, we have making a class node, right? So what we have to do right now, we have to connect all nodes, make an object of all nodes. Okay, so for right now I make a dummy node which I call a head. Okay, why I'm making a dummy node? Because see, if I make a -1 named dummy node, what we can do, its next can be store it as, like, we can put its next and connect them to the next one with that input, right? So it is the easiest way to make it. Okay, and what we are doing, let's say we have the head with -1. We have the input right now 5. What we are going to do, at the head dot next, we are put that 5. Okay, and put the tail towards the 5, so that we have the end pointer also, right, at the end, which is pointing towards the end. Afterwards what we can do, we join tail with that 6 input, making a new object. If you can't able to understand, like, be patient, we are going to write a code, and it will be pretty easy for you to understand. After that there is, like, we make a tail towards the next, and after, like, we take a input 7, like, we will move in this way. Okay, so let's see how we are going to take. Okay, so let me start with the code and try to explain it while writing a code. Okay, here I am managing the input, like out is for the output and scn is for the input, as we take in the Java. So let's take int length of a linked list is equal to scn dot next int. Okay, so it is the length of the linked list, and after that what we want a for loop. Okay, from where I equal to 0 till I less than length I plus plus, right? So right now we have already discussed, like, we want two things, head and tail, right? So we want two things, head and tail, right? What we can do, uh, we can make a dummy node for the head and tail pointers. Okay, so let's make a pointer node head, head equals to new node, and I will put -1 because it is just a temporary reference node, and I make another node tail which I put towards the head, which is the head I put the tail, because see here what I does, while writing the code I am explaining, it will be very easy for you guys to able to understand about the linked list. So see what I make a -1 and put my head pointer towards it and tail pointer towards it. Okay, right now I have done this part and initialize the length of size, anything like I have taken the 6, you can take anything else. So right now here its key is equal to null because there is nothing at the end or at the next, right? So let's start. We are making a node. Okay, so what I want after that, I want like whenever I take a input, okay, like int input, okay, so stm.nextInt, we have taken the input. So what I want to make, I make a new node, node equals to new node, where I put a input data, right? So right now I am making an input node, right? Now what I want to do, let's see. I have this node and in the for loop, let's say we have the first input 5. So we have the 5. We have making the input whose key is referring to the null right now. And here is a 5. Okay. So we have the two node right now, right? So what I'm going to do at the tail pointer, I connect that tail key towards this. Okay, how I'm going to connect that tail key? So I can access that tail key by tail dot key. Okay, I'm going to tail dot key. I put tail dot key equals to this node. Okay, so in this way, what I'm going to do, I connect this by this. See this line of code, what it does, this connect this by this. Okay, so let's connect tail dot key equals to node. Okay, now what it does, this tail one, it connect with this. Okay, see if we connect with this, what we are going to do, like tail right now here at -1, if we connect, always connect tail with this and do not move this tail to this. Okay, is we are again and again assigning tail dot key to new values, right? But if we move this pointer ahead, like if tail comes towards this pointing towards the 5, then tail dot key will be represented as the data with this key, right? So what we are going to do, we move a pointer ahead. Yeah, we are move a pointer ahead. So what we are going to do, tail dot tail equals to node. What this does, like see, we have a -1 node, head and tail is pointing towards this, and we connected with 5, right? Now what I have done, by the last line of data, I make this, remove this and make tail equals to node. So tail move ahead, right? Head is at the starting only and tail move ahead. Okay, so in this way we are moving. Like afterwards, let's say it comes 6. Okay, so what it does, let me take this line of code so that it will be easy for you guys. Sorry for this. Yeah. Okay, so what is this? um, okay, okay, we are taking this line of code. Okay, we just copy it and paste it here. Yeah, we have this line of code. Sorry, and paste it. Okay, so what we are going to do in this for loop, see, now new value come, we assign node to 5 to 6, we make a new node which is value is 6. Tail dot key, now tail is pointing towards the 5. What tail dot key does, it points towards the node. So node is here, it point towards the node and we move this tail. See, tail equals to node. Now node is this and tail comes here and it moves here, right? So let's say next input will become like 7. So what it does, like first code, line of code, make a node of 7 with pointer null. This pointer is already null and tail is at the 6. Keep in mind tail is at the 6 right now after the node here, and node is this one, node is new one, this one. So what it does, tail dot key equals to node means tail key equals to this node. Okay, so it points toward this and tail equals to node, we move tail ahead, we are going towards this. Okay, so in this way this line of code make a linked list. Okay, now if we want to print a linked list, see, if we want to print a linked list, so what we are going to do, we do not want to print a head, right? Because head it has -1, we do not need it because this is a reference node only. So we will assign node a new head. Let's say we may assign a new head. Okay, how we can make, like, see, initially we have head at -1, right? And after next it is at 5, 6, and so on. So initial head it has -1, we do not want to print this. So what do we do? We go to head.key and make our new head this one. How we can move ahead? Yeah, how we can move ahead? We just put head.key. That is a reference to another node and we move ahead. Okay, so here we move head.key. What it defines, like, we want to go store, not head, we want to store the next linked list which is at 5. Okay, now what we do, we want to just print it out, right? So how, so in the while what we have to do, we have to put until we want to run a while. So see how we can running the while. Let's say we have this one, right? This is the linked list we have right here, which have right now our new data, new head, it is at fifth, it is pointing towards the fifth. So we want to move ahead, yeah, we want to move ahead towards the sixth, then move towards the seventh, and until the new head become the null, there is nothing at the null, until we moving ahead and we comes to the null, we stop there, right? We stop when there is nothing at the new head. If new head not equal to null, we move ahead, and we just print out the new head dot data. We have to put the data, right? We have to assess the data by putting the dot, and we print that data, and new head dot key. We make that key, we move ahead, like we move ahead. We make how we can move ahead, like new head dot key. Like it is just like I plus plus, we are doing I plus plus in that array, right? We are moving ahead, point, we will putting a point, moving a point ahead, right? Moving a point ahead, moving a point ahead, like it is just like I plus plus. So here we what do, new head equals to new head dot key. What it does, like where the key it is, like key is pointing towards the 3k position, it make a new head to point 3k position. After that, if key is pointing at 8k position, this line make the new head to point its key which is 8k position. In this way we are moving again and again forward. Okay, so in this way we are moving the forward, right? So let's say we can make, compile this code. We have to make for the 5, let's say we have the 5 input and we want 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to make a linked list, and we want output as this. Okay, let's see, let's run, and let's see it will print or not. Okay, okay, we have put a head value capital. Okay, yeah, okay, there is print, a typo mistake. Yeah, it is print 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, let's say we want to print 7 also, there can be 5, there can be 3, 4, right? Now it is 6. Let's save it and try to run it. Yeah, so see output is same, right? So in this way we make a linked list. Okay, and we try to print it, right? Here it is, we make a node. How we make a node? We initialize the data and then the key. What is key? Key is just a next pointer. In the many of the cases, like on the LeetCode and over the GFG, you see key here is named as next, so that we know what is the next. So in this whole data, we just have to change for key equals to next. It will all fine. Okay, it's just a convention, like in the LeetCode it will say it is next. Okay, yeah, so here one more thing. Yeah, here we have to put next. It will work exactly same, just we rename it as a next, right? So in this way we created a linked list and print the linked list. Okay, so another thing we want to discuss in this lecture is, we have iterated putting the values printed. Yeah, right now we also have to reverse our linked list. Okay, let's try to reverse a linked list. it is another thing. Let's fifth, reverse a linked list. Okay, what if we want to reverse a linked list? So what we have to do? We just have to change the pointer which is pointing towards the next. So let's say we have the head which is pointing towards the 5. We have the head which is head is pointing towards the 5. Okay, then another number which is pointing towards, like, it is at 2k position, it is at 3k position. So here it is stored as 3k. After that, let's say we take just 3. Okay, it is at 4k position. Okay, so here it is 4k position and here it is none. So if we want to reverse a linked list, so what it will look like? First we will determine that. See, it will look like 7. It will store the key which is 3k position. Okay, here it is a 6. After there is a 5. Okay, 5 store null and it will store 2. Okay, because see, position remains the same, 4k, 3k and 2k. We just have to change the next pointer. Okay, we just have to change the next pointer. How we are going to change? Okay, that is pretty simple. How it is pretty simple? Let's say, let's take it for a 2 nodes. Let's take it for a 2 node only. Okay, so we have head here pointing towards this. Okay, so right now let's say it is at 2k, it is at 1k. We have a next pointer as 2k, and that is 2 and 3, let's say, and its next pointer is null. Okay, so what we have to make for this, we have to make the data with 2 should have null, pointing nothing, and 3 should be pointing towards that 2. Okay, so what we can do here? Here right now it is joined as this. So what we are going to do? See, we have head here. We make one previous, okay, which is pointing at null, and we make a next which is pointing at null. And what we are going to do? We make head next towards the. We store our next, like in this next. We store our next. We will point towards this next. Okay, we will store our next. Okay, we are just writing a code for this 2 linked list. Okay, this will be very simple, then we make how we can iterate it. Okay, first we are writing the code for only 2 linked list. We make our next and save our next by writing the next, storing the next pointer towards here. Okay, in this way we safeguard our next, right? We save our next. Okay, previous is null. We make our head dot next. We have to remove this connection, right? We make our next to pointing towards the previous. Okay, and update our previous to head, because the last value or previous value will be the head, right? We update our previous towards the head, right? We put our next, save our next in the next, and remove our head to the previous pointer. Okay, so let's write the thing which we want to do. First, what we want to do, store the next. Okay, we want to store the next. How we are storing the next? We just put head dot next. In this way we store our next, right? Second point, what we have to do? We have to put head dot next equals to previous. We have to point towards the previous. Okay, so let's see, head dot next equals to previous. We just point it towards the previous. Okay, after that, what we want to do? What we have to do? Okay, we have to move our previous to head. Okay, because now our previous becomes head. We make previous equals to head, and now our head is not this. This is not the head, right? Because it become the last. Now our head become a next pointer where we store our next value, right? So our head is equals to next. So in this way we are doing iteration for 2 linked lists, right? So let's try to dry run for a 3 linked list over here. Let's say we have data 2 and position 2k, which is pointing towards the second part of a linked list, which is data 3 and 3k. Okay, 2k, 1k. Okay, so we have 4 and which is storing null. Okay, 3k position, it is connected like this, right? So what we have to do, we are just iterating towards this. Right now, next, let's say next is null, previous is null, and head is this, right? Head is this. So according to our algorithm, we put next as head.next. What is head.next is 2k. We remove the this and 2k. We pointing this, right? We are pointing this to this. Previous is null, so head.next is previous. Head.next. This we put to previous. Previous is null. We put this to null, right? This is null, so we put this to null. Okay, so we've updated previous to head. Previous to head. Previous is at 1k position. We updated previous to head. Right, head is at 1k position. We updated it. Okay, we updated our previous. Then we move ahead towards the next. We move ahead towards the next. Next is here. We move ahead. We move ahead. We move ahead towards the next. Head is pointing towards 2k position. Now head is this. Right. Now this pointer is not pointing towards this, right? Now what it is pointing? Okay, so this pointer is not pointing towards this, right? So what we have to do right now, we have stored this in the previous. This is previous, right? This is our head, and next is also this. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we run this code again. Okay, now what it does, head.next. Next we store head.next like 3k, right? We store 3k. Then what we are going to do, we are head.next equals to previous. We are just updating this next, or next is here. We are updating head.next equals to previous, which is pointing towards the 1k. So here it comes 1k. The next become 1k. Okay. Now what we are going to do, previous equals to head. We move, yeah, previous is here. We moving this previous towards this. Now previous become head, and yeah, we move head towards the next. We remove a head and move it to the next. We are here right now. Okay, we are here right now. We remove this pointer and put it like this. Same, it will run from null. It will point towards the previous, and it will run like same. And after that we have to just make our head as previous, so it will run like this in the while loop. At the last, after this, the head become null, right? Because next is a null, its next is a null, head become null, so we stop here. Yeah, we stop here when head is null. So let's try to write it down. Okay, so here we are going to write, just we print, okay, so we just try to print here, reverse ls. Okay, so we are reversing our linked list. How? See, we make our, okay, yeah, just we same like we have make a dummy node, so we make a new head equals to head dot next, so that we have the head dot next pointing towards it, right? Dummy node do not give any error, so we just make our head a head. Okay, so after this what we are going to do, yeah, we are running our while loop. We are initializing 3 pointers: node previous equals to null, node next equals to null, and now we have the 3 pointer new head and all, previous next. Now we just run while loop. We run a while loop till new head is not equal to null. Okay, till then we run a while loop, and what we are going to do, we are just changing the pointer as we have done here. So what we have done, we put next is head dot next. Okay, next equals to new head dot next. Okay, second thing what we have done, head dot next equals to previous. Okay, head, sorry, new head dot next equals to previous. I'm just writing the same code which we have dry run over here. Then previous equals to head. Okay, then we have to just at the last head equals to next. Okay, new head equals to next. Okay, so in this way we have reversed our linked list. Okay, the linked list is reversed, and at the last, what is the linked list? Like new head equals to previous. Like our new linked list is in the previous, so we have the new head which is called previous. So let's try here to print it. Okay, we have already write the printing code. Okay, we just have to copy this and paste it here. Okay, let's try to run this code. Yeah. So see, here we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 5, 7, which is a linked list, and here we have the reverse linked list, right? So in this way, we have reversed our linked list. And for this, right now, I think you all understand the lecture. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. And yeah, there is one homework for you guys. So what you have to do, you have to make a linked list who take the data as a string, okay, not as an integer, and also contain data in data1. Contain two data things, data1 and data, where the data is in the string format and data1 is in the int format. Okay, we will discuss that code also, but for right now, this is your homework. So do your homework. Thank you friends for watching.